That's awesome. Hi, this is Ike from IkesOutdoors.com. Today we're going to be talking about the QAD Quality Archery Designs HD Rest. And I know the first thing you're looking at is this messy desk behind you, and it's hard to believe, but I do actually get something accomplished, even though there's always a clutter and always a pile up on the back of here. But this is part where I'm going to start filming a little bit because I'm getting tired of standing up. So I'm going to start sitting down from now on. So this is the, we're going to take a little look at the Quality Archery Design. The first thing I want to say is I did a video on this a few months ago, and if you've ever had to admit that you're wrong, you know how I feel right now. A friend of mine brought this rest over and wanted me to put it on his bow, and I wasn't real happy about the whole situation. And I just kind of rushed around and put the rest on there and didn't take my time and didn't watch the DVD. Just glanced through the directions and thought I was the big bow technician and knew exactly what to do. And I had a lot of trouble setting up the rest because of that attitude. So I apologize to Quality Archery Designs for that, and they've been nice enough to give me a second opportunity, and they really believe in their product and they really want to stand behind it. So they basically said to try it again and to go at it again, and I went into it with a little bit better attitude this time and admitted that I was wrong the first time and kind of rushed things around. So we're going to take a look at this rest, and we've given it a real good honest evaluation this time. We've been shooting this thing for about a month, and right now I've got it on my wife's bow, and it's she's shooting a Bowtech Equalizer, and she shoots indoor league, so she shoots about 60 to 100 arrows a week, depending on how much time she gets to shoot. But this time when I got this rest in, I watched the DVD, and set up on this thing took me about 5 minutes. And once I got it down here and started shooting, I set it up upstairs watching the DVD, and once I got down here and it took me one or two, just had to pull the bow back once or twice to get this thing lined up, and since then it's been running real smooth. We're going to talk to my wife here. She's been shooting it more than I have. I've been playing around with it a little bit, but she's been shooting it in the league. Like I said, she's been shooting it 60 to 100 times a week for the past month or so, so she's got a better feel for it than I do. But I can tell you the things that I like about it just from the limited time that I've had to shoot it. I like that it locks in the up position, and that if you let it down slow, it'll stay locked. I like the fact that when you pull it back, it seems very smooth. There's no hitch, there's no drag. It's a really smooth rest. It seems to be pretty quiet. It seems to be pretty accurate. So with that said, there's two things about this rest that I don't like, and that's the felt. I always seem to be having to stick the felt back on there. This upper piece is fine, but I always seem to be having to stick this bottom piece back on there. I'd like to see a rubber molding or something like that in there and get away with this, away from this felt. I don't like things on an archery product or tool or anything that I'm using to be kind of a throwaway thing. You know, I don't want it to be something that I'm sticking on there and then I'm going to be replacing later. I want it to be a permanent piece of that, and I want it to be made out of a good quality material. And the other thing I didn't like about it was this nut right here, or this bolt right here, just being in a bad position. I just didn't like the position of it. You can drop that down and you can adjust it, but then you got to pop this back up to make sure you're in the right place and work around it to tighten that back up. So a couple things that I didn't like about it, and you know, little minor things, but overall it's proven to be a pretty good rest. So we're going to talk to my wife here real quick and see what she thinks about this thing. Okay, so my wife's been shooting for about 2 years now, and she shot everything from a blade rest to a whisker biscuit to a drop away rest. She shot just about everything that I'm not using. Everything that I take off my bows, I pretty much give to her. So what do you think of the QAD compared to your other rest?
I've got to say this is probably my all-time favorite rest, just because I'm used to using secondhand stuff. You know?
Yeah, she got the new rest this time.
I've got a new rest this time, and I must say it's like night and day. Honestly, the first time I drew it back, it was euphoria, because it just felt so smooth, and it was like, I kept saying it was like butter. It was just so smooth and
Now
quiet.
let me say, the stuff that she was using, it wasn't like it was old stuff. You guys have seen some of the equipment that I've shot. Some of the stuff I've tested out, it may have a week or 2 weeks worth of shooting on it. It ain't like I'm handing her some bargain stuff out of the local shop's basement, you know. So, how much have you shot it over the last 3 or 4 weeks?
Like you said, I took it to league night every Tuesday and shoot about 60 to 100 shots on it per week. And I've had 2 or 3 people come up to me and remark how quiet my bow is and how smooth it seems to be shooting, and it really does feel like a different bow from what I've been shooting. It's so smooth on the draw with the new strings and the rest combined. It feels like a completely different bow, and in the best way possible.
What do you think about accuracy of it?
Accuracy seems to be fine, except whenever I, punch the trigger and let one go a little early, which, you know how that is, kind of a little bit. But.
A little bit, yeah. I'm a good shot.
But accuracy seems to be, for me, not an issue. I've had really good luck with it so far. And the only thing I don't particularly like about it is what you remarked about the felt. I'm constantly having to push it back down and get it back into place. And I don't know if that contributes to some of the shots being off because it's hitting the felt when it peels up or whatever. But so far, that's the only gripe I have against this rest. And I think that's saying something since, everything else seems to be really, really nice on it.
So it's smooth.
It's smooth and it's quiet.
It's accurate.
It's very accurate.
And that's pretty much what I've found in my experience with shooting it. Is I found it to be very smooth. I really like the way it draws back. It has no... Some of the other rests, when you pull them back, they'll have a little bit of hitch and a little bit of drag to them. And this doesn't seem to have any kind of hitch or drag to it. Remarkably quiet. I'm really impressed with how quiet it is, especially on drawing back and letting down. Had 0 clearance problems with it from a technician standpoint of setting it up. Like I said, once I went into it with the proper attitude and watched the DVD, it was easy to set up. I had her set up in about 5 minutes. So clearance problems, I have no clearance problems on it at all. And in the last 2 weeks, or 3 weeks that she's been shooting this thing, even at 60 arrows a week, that's 180 arrows. I think she's been putting a little bit more than that. I think she's put like 300 arrows probably through it in that amount of time. And I've put a few in it down here in the basement, tuning it. And we put her a new peep eliminator on there, and we had to change some things around. So we've been tuning on the bow and changing things a little bit. So,
but we hadn't had to tune the rest at all.
No, and we haven't had to tune the rest at all. But we've just put that many shots through it during the tuning process. So, so far, it's proven to be a very good rest for me. There's a couple complaints that I have about it, but minor little deals. You can always replace felt. So as long as it's operating smoothly and you keep an eye on your felt, it's pretty easy to replace. The bolt on the opposite side is mainly from a technician standpoint. If you're going to have somebody set this up for you, like my wife has me set it up, it ain't even going to ever affect you. One thing I found too on it is when we got it set up for center shot on this bow, it was all the way to the left, as far as we could go with it. And it turned out to be, we got it in tune, but I found on a buddy's destroyer that I set it up on that it was just a little bit off. So it needs just a little bit more further left adjustment. But so far I haven't had any problems actually getting it center shot with that. But it just seems like it's always bottoming out to the left side on it for me. But overall, really quiet, really easy to set up. No clearance problems with it at all so far. From a technician standpoint, I'd give it probably a 9 out of 10. So what do you think from a shooter standpoint?
From a shooter standpoint, honestly, I've shot the Trophy Ridge drop away. I've shot a Limb Saber drop away. This, to me, is bar none probably the top of the line.
Smooth as butter.
Smooth as butter. It really is. You gotta shoot this thing. I would give it a 10 out of 10. I know you're a ripcord man, but I might have to say...
I'm an unbiased archery user.
I'm a QAD person now.
And that was the problem that I went into with the last rest. I try to do these reviews and look at every product in an unbiased way. And the last time that I did this review, like I said, I was just a little bit upset because it was the middle of the night when someone asked me to tune their bow for them and had to have it right now and wanted it right now, and not really paying me to do it. So I went into it with a bad attitude, and I went into it with I was very biased. So I do these with an unbiased attitude as much as I possibly can, and try to be as fair as I possibly can. And once I went into it with that attitude, I'm really impressed with the QAD. And the customer service is fantastic. I'm going to say that. The customer service, the guys at QAD answered all my questions and took their time to respond back to me with questions and the concerns that I had, and that is really up there in my book. So I'm really impressed with the QAD, and I'm really impressed with the company overall. So, Be sure to check out our website. Be sure to check out the website for Quality Archery Design. I have no idea what that is. So be sure to check out their website now that I know what it is. QADinc.com. And be sure to check out our website, IkesOutdoors.com, for more product reviews, how-to videos. We got some bow reviews up there. So be sure to check that out, IkesOutdoors.com. Appreciate you watching.